We could have voluntarily decided that, look, we're gonna go into back rooms like they used to and smoke cigars and pick the candidate that way. Bruce Spiva, lawyer for the DNC. Bernie Sanders didn't have a chance. He said it himself. 400 superdelegates before the election had even begun had pledged their allegiance to Hillary Clinton.
We have received up to now 46% of the pledged delegates. We have received all of 7% of the superdelegates. Secretary Clinton has 525 superdelegates. We have all of 39. So she has 93% of the superdelegates. And here is what is really very, very interesting and I think not a good thing. Over 400 of these superdelegates indicated their support for Secretary Clinton before anyone else was in the race. They indicated their support for Secretary Clinton before the first ballot was cast, before the campaign even began. In other words, the establishment determined who the anointed candidate will be before the first voters got into the process. I think that that is a very, very bad idea, and it's an idea that we intend to change at the convention. But it is a bad, not only a bad idea from a democratic perspective, the idea that a party would in a significant way determine who the candidate is before people got involved in the political process. It is a bad idea because if you go that route, you may not end up with the strongest candidate to defeat somebody like a Donald Trump. Secretary Clinton does represent the establishment.
Bernie Sanders says his campaign is taking on the political establishment because you're part of the establishment. Are you?
Well, I have to say I didn't understand that at all. I really don't understand what he means by that.
But are you the establishment?
I just don't understand what that means. He's been in Congress. He's been elected to office a lot longer than I have. I was in the Senate for 8 wonderful years representing New York. He's been in the Congress for 25. And so I'll let your viewers make their own judgment.
My first interview is with Iowa Bernie delegate Jessica Butler.
My name is Jessica Butler, and I live in Sioux County, Iowa, northwestern part of it. I'm a social worker, and I'm originally from Rockford, Illinois.
Jessica Butler is most famously known for this image of her at the convention.
It was like a winter day, it was really cold, and I knocked on this door, and it was this older woman, and she invited me inside because it was cold. And so I get in there, and we're chit-chatting, just getting to kind of know each other. I said, you know, I'm here volunteering for Bernie Sanders. She just kept talking about, like, her struggles because she's on, like, disability, and she has a mental illness, and her partner that wasn't there at the time had served in the war, one of the wars, and he has PTSD. And so I don't know, I just was listening to their stories, and we were just getting to know each other, and I felt like we were building a rapport and something that would last beyond the campaign. Her partner, came eventually, and he told me a bunch of his struggles as well. So anyways, I'm there for an hour, and I'm chit-chatting with them. I'm knocking on doors, and I'm like, ugh, I really gotta get going. And the first question I'm usually supposed to ask is, you know, can you caucus for Bernie Sanders? And after an hour long of getting to know them, and, you know, I just really liked them so much, they were like, we can't caucus for Bernie because we have like debilitating like mental illnesses and like fear of anxiety of like people and this and that. And so, I mean, my heart was kind of broken to like hear that, but like I still cared, and I was really happy that I learned so much about them and their struggles, because that's how we continue to fight for those people who don't have the ability maybe to get out and have their voices heard. So fast forward a little bit, I chit-chat with them in between time in the caucus, just checking in on them, like I brought them some food and things like that. But caucus night rolls around, I'm getting people signed in here and there, and all of a sudden, the man and the woman that I knocked on those doors from, they show up to the caucus site, and my mind was just blown, because like they had told me that like they couldn't make it, that they couldn't come because of all these challenges that they have. And they came, and not only did they caucus for Bernie, they like stood up in front of a group of 70 people in their community and talked about their challenges and their struggles. And they were like, that's why we're fighting for Bernie Sanders, because he's been fighting for people like us his entire life. And it just was so inspiring to me that like that is what this campaign did, is it helped empower us, and it helped us to bring each other together.
Our job is not to divide. Our job is to bring people together. If we do not allow them to divide us up by race, by sexual orientation, by gender, by not allowing them to divide us up by whether or not we were born in America or whether we're immigrants, when we stand together as white, black, and Hispanic, gay and straight, woman and man, when we stand together and demand that this country works for all of us rather than the few, we will transform America. And that is what this campaign is about. It's bringing people together.
6 superdelegates went to Hillary Clinton. This is equal to 60,000 votes. Jessica Butler would share her thoughts on Donna Brazil's revelation.
And so many things rolled out during the campaign that was just sort of another, like, I guess, nail in the coffin, proving that this election was rigged against Bernie Sanders and the people that supported him. But I believe that, like, this starvation diet, and with Donna Brazil and Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton, that this link between the funding and Hillary, it just shows that she had her finger on the scales to herself the entire time. It just showed the type of control and influence that she had over the election, even before the nomination was made. On top of that, you know, the superdelegates, before Bernie even came out saying that he was going to run for president, so many superdelegates claimed to be in her court.
Is this? I'm going to film it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. My name is Mitch Thompson. I am the precinct chairman of Hardin Township in Johnson County, Iowa. We are vying for 1 delegate, and we have a tie at 29 and 29. We cannot resolve the vote. 30 is the liability number for the single delegate. So at this point, I will ask Senator Kevin Kenney to flip the coin. Please come observe. The front of the coin is Father of our country, George Washington. The back is the schoolhouse, which is the coin from the state of Iowa. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Eric Johnson, the Senator Sanders precinct chair, captain.
Julie Brerecht. I'm precinct captain for Hillary Clinton.
All right. And we have the coin. And do you mind if ladies call it?
No.
All right.
Doesn't matter. 50-50.
Folks, we are about to flip the coin. The precinct chair or the captain for Hillary will call it in the air. Heads is George Washington, tails is the little schoolhouse, for the state coin of Iowa. Call it in the air.
No. Okay.
A coin toss is not a form of
It
democracy.
is tails.
There is nothing democratic about a coin toss. It's just merely
Tie has
chance.
been broken by coin flip, and we'll go to Bernie Sanders for the
I don't even know why the Hillary Clinton campaign covered this up.
Iowa Democrats don't take democracy seriously.
This is just sad at this point, seeing that the Democrats are actually using coins to rely on who gets to be a delegate or not.
Delegate for this precinct is Hillary Clinton. It was very, very close, people. Remember, this is a caucus. It was very, very close. It was called by a coin toss.
How were you treated at the convention?
We were not treated very nice at all. Hillary Clinton commercial the entire week, and also they were very aggressive with us and trying to just like shut us up. They just weren't kind at all. Like, we were just dismissed the whole time.
What was the message that you left the convention with?
The message that I left with, and what I think a lot of people left with, were that people left of the Democratic establishment are not welcome into the party. And it was perfectly clear, I mean, throughout the primaries and at the convention, that people like us that are more on the left side of the spectrum are not welcome, having our voices heard, because they're more progressive than majority of the people elected into office right now.